Hello, this is Max, and today I want to give a second shot at reviewing the Chaos Space Marine Codex because I don't think I really gave a good review in my first video for it. I want to actually talk about the Codex and not just kind of skim through it. So, I've got my Codex here, cup of coffee. Let's do this. Alright, so I'm just going to skip to the point. I want to talk about the actual rules part of the book, because that's mostly what people care about, and that's kind of the point. So, one of the things that I want to talk about is the Champions of Chaos special rule. Which, if you don't know, the Champion of Chaos special rule, a model that has that rule whenever they're in base-to-base or whenever they're in close combat, they automatically have to challenge the opposing character. So if you have a Chaos Space Marine squad and your aspiring champion is alive and in combat, and they have a veteran sergeant in their Space Marine squad, let's say you're fighting Space Marines, your aspiring champion has to fight the aspiring champion, or has to challenge him at least. So, but there's a really good benefit to this though, which I'll get into. So, the Champions of Chaos get to roll on the Chaos Boon chart, which is amazing. You roll a d66, which is you roll one d6 and then another d6, and that's how you find out the result. And it ranges from Unworthy Offering, which means you get nothing, Spawnhood, which means you replace the champion with Chaos Spawn, Warp Frenzy, which gives the champion +1 attack, Fragment of Immortality, which gives the champion the Eternal Warrior special rule, so he's immune to instant death. Strength of the Berserker, the champion has +1 strength. Arcane Oculum, the champion has +1 ballistic skill. Cerebral Cogitator, the champion has +1 initiative. Bloated, the champion is returned to full wounds. If he is already at full wounds, he now has +1 wound. That one's pretty good, I think. Crystalline Body, the champion has +1 toughness. Shield of Force, the champion has the Shrouded special rule. Mechanoid, the champion's armor save improves by 1. Blade of Chaos, if he has one or more, if he has one, choose one of the champion's melee weapons, and it now has the Fleshbane special ability. Well, that's pretty wicked, so he kind of gives you like a chain fist or something. Witch Eater. When the champion uses Deny the Witch, the enemy psyker immediately takes a Strength 6 AP2 hit. That's pretty wicked. Not only does he try to stop the psychic power of the spell, but he also like throws a knife at them or something. I don't know. Just, stop that. Cosmic Fate. The champion may reroll failed armor saves. Venomous. The champion's melee attacks have the Poison special rule. That's pretty good, especially in the new editions. Poisoned has been made amazing. Dark Eldar players know what I'm talking about. Poison weapons are much, much better and a little bit too good compared to older editions. Unholy Crusader. The champion has the Crusader special rule. Who didn't see that one coming? You, because you don't own the Codex. That's why you're watching this video. Meteoric Charge. The champion has the Hammer of Wrath special rule. That is a really good rule. I like that with bikes and assault marines. You get that extra attack at initiative 10. It's pretty wicked. Icy Aura. The enemy models in base contact with your champion, and at the end of the initiative step 1. Will take a strength 4 AP5 hit. So essentially, at the speed of a power fist in combat, they'll get smacked with like a bolter. Mind of Metal, the champion has the Adamantium Will special rule. I don't know what that does. Gun Morph, if he has one, choose one of the champion's guns, and it now has +1 strength. So that's pretty wicked, especially as it says it applies to both weapons on a combi weapon, which would be really good with combi plasma, giving it the strength 8, pushing it just above that normal thing that it says. So it'll be as strong as a Meltagun. Combi plasma would be +1 strength, so strength 8. Wouldn't have the Melta rule, but it would have the range. You'd be able to shoot strength 8, 24 inches. That's pretty good. All-consuming hatred. The champion has the hatred special rule, which you can get all throughout this book. Just having hatred straight up though is good though, because that's for everything. The guy hates everything. Warp claws. The champion has the shred special rule. I think that's kind of like having master crafted or something. Forget what shred does. What else you re-roll wounds, yeah. The champion's melee attacks have the instant death special rule, Life Taker. Blade Master. The champion has +1 weapon skill. That's not bad. Voice of Horus. Now this has got to be good. It's the Voice of Horus. The champion has the Stubborn special rule. I was expecting a little bit more. Temporal Distortion. The champion has the Fleet special rule. That's pretty good. They teleport all over the place, so they move fast. Although Fleet, I don't think is nearly as good now as it was then. I like being able to run and charge with dogs or something like that. That was kind of cool. Masochism. The champion has the Feel No Pain special rule. Feel No Pain is beautiful. Everyone should have Feel No Pain. No, not everybody. Don't give it to Elder. Multiple boons. Roll another D3 +1 times on the table. Rerolling Spawnhood and Dark Apotheosis results. That's awesome. So if you get this, you get up to 4 rolls on it that you get to have. That's awesome. Dark Apotheosis. You replace your guy with the Demon Prince. Now that's awesome. Wouldn't you just like to have your aspiring champion and your Chaos Space Marine squad? They charge into close combat because you bought them, bolters and bolt pistols and chain swords, all the works, right? And they're charging into a squad of just vanilla Space Marines. And your aspiring champion, he's nice and well equipped. And the veteran sergeant's got a bolt pistol and chain sword because he's right out of the box. And you manage to kill him. And then you roll, what do you have to roll? A 6 and a 5, or a 6 and a 6, and then you replace your guy with a Demon Prince. Now you're gonna love the face that your opponent gives when you've just replaced one of your 25-point models with now something that's 125 points, and it's now gonna win you the game. So the Chaos Boon table is amazing. It's random, but there's nothing but good coming from it. Even if you were to get a spawn costs what, 40 points? So if you were to have a basic champion, which would only cost you maybe up to at most 40 to 50 points, don't spend any more than that on a champion, or else you're dumping points into a place that's gonna you're just gonna be lost. So if you get Spawn, you're actually going to be making a bit of points. He's going to actually gain wounds. It's going to be able to be something that can tie up something in close combat. I mean, if it kills the champion, if it kills their veteran sergeant, and you still have your guy, but he turned into a Spawn, that combat's not going to get tied up, and there's nothing that's going to happen from that, at least from your opponent. Let's hope. So I would say that even if you get a Spawn, don't worry. That's probably better than what you had. The Warlord Traits table. Now I want to talk about this for a second. So I really like how they're adding in different army Warlord traits. Well, I mean, they said they were going to do it in the rule book when it came out, but I like how they're keeping up with their word. So it's a random chart. You roll a d6. 1, you get Black Crusader. The Warlord and all friendly units within 12 inches of him have the preferred enemy Space Marine special rule. So if you have that on on your Chaos Lord and all the units within 12 inches of him, and if you've already bought Veterans of the Long War, you're going to have a very effective army against any Space Marine type army. Vanilla Space Marines, Dark Angels, Blood Angels, Space Wolves, Grey Knights. You'll have an easier time than you would against anything else, because you have these type advantages. You know, it's like you're playing Pokemon. It's super effective. So that's pretty good. If you roll a 2, you get Flames of Spite, which makes all weapons belonging to the Warlord have Soul Blaze, which I really like. Soul Blaze. Soul Blaze is when you wound a guy and then he pretty much lights on fire, like psychic fire, and he keeps burning, and then I could have this wrong, but I'm pretty sure he keeps burning and then it passes on to another guy and they keep burning, and it's really good. If you can get Soul Fire, put it on your weapons. I'm pretty sure you can get it for Rhinos for Chaos. I'll look at that in a bit. Master of Deception. Nominate up to D3 infantry units in your army before deployment, and they gain Infiltrate. That's not bad. I'm not really a big fan of Infiltrate. I like to have my force kind of able to support each other. I kind of have a support net. But if I have an opportunity where infiltrating would actually help, then I'll go for it. But I wouldn't really trust too much in Master of Deception. If you get it, it's an okay ability. It'll change up the game to what you were expecting to start off as. Hatred Incarnate. The Warlord and his unit have the Hatred special rule. Now that's good because it's kind of like all-consuming hatred. It just gives you hatred. So you can be fighting a Tyrannid to a Necron warrior that from all the way through the spectrum of 40k, let's say. And he hates everything. I'm sure he even hates Family Guy, and that's just wrong. Alright, so Lord of Terror. The Warlord has the Fear special rule. I like how they're adding in things like that in 6th edition, how they're adding in all these different abilities that you can probably see in Warhammer Fantasy Battle that have been around for years. So I kind of appreciate that. Exalted Champion. The Warlord may re-roll his rolls on the Chaos Boon table, including any rolls he makes before the game. Or include before the game begins as a result of a gift of mutation. Okay, so that's pretty wicked. He gets to re-roll on the chart. If you don't like what you got, get something else. And so we got the Chaos marks. Now I'm not actually very happy with the marks. I mean, some people probably would be, but I'm not happy with the declining theme that they've gone with for the last 2 editions. Let's start with Mark of Khorne. Models with Mark of Khorne have the Rage and Counterattack special rules. I was hoping they would get Feel No Pain, which for Khorne Berserkers used to be called Fueled by Pain. I was hoping they would get that, but still that's been given to Nurgle, I think. Or no, they don't have it anymore. Nurgles have +1 toughness, and Psychers must generate their powers from just discipline Nurgle. Models with Tzeentch have +1 to their invulnerable save, or if they don't have one, they have a 6-up invulnerable save, and they've got to take their powers from Tzeentch. Still manage to get +1 to their initiative, and they've got to get their powers from the discipline of Slaanesh. Now, there used to be a lot more to what the marks would do. This feels a little bit washed down to what it could have been. But I guess they didn't want to overdo it. They didn't want to push it over the top because Chaos usually has had this advantage over some of the other Space Marine armies, just because of the fact that it's kind of like a vanilla Space Marine army, but with a little bit more. Some could say, well, that's not true. There's all these different things less, and Space Marines have all these some abilities that Chaos don't. But when you make it really cut and dry, Chaos are pretty much vanilla Space Marines with a big additional page of stuff. So, moves on to Chaos Lords. With Chaos Lords,